Well, thank you very much. And I'll tell you, we got a nice guest this week for sure. We've been telling people all about this for the last hour. Emmanuel Ogbah, former All-American defensive player here, one of the best we've ever had up front for sure. And now in his fifth year in the NFL, which where has the time gone, Emmanuel? But down there in Miami, having a good time up till now. Good to talk to you again. We haven't talked in a while.
Yeah, how you doing? I hope you're doing good, man. And it's been a blessing, going so far.
Let's kind of concentrate on the good stuff going on right now. Miami has put itself and won 4 in a row, put itself in a position to be at least mentioned as a possible playoff team. And defensively, you've been right in the middle of all the good stuff. You got a couple of strip sacks in the last couple of games. You're kind of out there wheeling and dealing, huh?
Yeah, I mean, the coach just put me in the right position to make plays, and I just got to go out there and make those plays. That's why I'm here.
Let's go in that direction. Is Flores' system, is it Boyer's system? Does it suit you more, or have they kind of built things around what you do?
It's a multiple front defense, so I could be inside, I could be outside, just play all around the defensive line, and also I move a lot, so that kind of helps me out, play to my advantage.
Kind of like we did here. I mean, you kind of moved around when you were here, and you were never seemingly, although I'm probably exaggerating, but it didn't seem to me you were ever in the same spot twice, which made it difficult to block you. But it just seems watching Miami a couple of times. I mean, you're playing loose, you're playing free, and really with a lot of energy.
Oh yeah, they trust me. I trust them. Like they put me in the right position and just let me use my talent and go to work.
You're on the different side of the ball, but what's Tua meant to this team? Because you got to have a spark on the other side as well.
Oh, yeah, Tua's mean a lot. I like to call him a natural-born leader. He just brings the guys together. I know he probably wasn't expecting us to be able to start this early, but, he's taking it one step at a time. He's a very smart football player, and he just does things the right way.
Tell me about Flores, and I think I read early on you said you like playing for a guy like this, and he and now Boyer the same way, I guess, but they both came from a defensive position and defensive experience with the Patriots, and they had great success there. Tell me about what the situation's like now in Miami.
You always love defensive-minded coach because the defense is going to be great, so it's going to dial up a lot of good stunts and good plays for us to go out there and execute. That's one thing I liked about Flores, and that's why I kind of wanted to come to Miami to play for him. But yeah, everything's been going good so far. We're taking it one game at a time, and we're not thinking about the playoffs or making it deep. We're just thinking about the Chargers next game.
You came from Kansas City, got a Super Bowl ring. Didn't play as many games as you want. I think you played 10. You had an injury there. But, man, what a ride that had to be all year long. That's a hell of a great franchise to play for.
Yeah. I mean, it was a blessing. I thought I was going to spend the rest of my career in Cleveland, but, stuff happens, and I got traded to Kansas City, which I was excited about. New opportunity for me, so I just went out there and gave it all I got. And unfortunately, I got hurt, but I'm just grateful to win the Super Bowl with them.
Hey, Emmanuel, Patrick Wheeler here. Tom, being nice here and let me butt in with a question, but big Chiefs guy here. So I wanted to ask you, too, on that subject, when you did play for Kansas City, you kind of got to fill in for Frank when he was out, too, and did a great job with that. But did you take anything from guys like Frank Clark, Chris Jones, maybe even the Honey Badger, all those guys that were there with you on that defense, take anything with you from them to Miami that you learned?
I mean, I took that winning mentality mindset with me, but I've always watched those guys. I've always watched Chris Jones. I trained with Chris Jones, so I've always watched his moves. I always watched Frank's moves. We all built different. We all rush different. So his moves might not work for me, but it definitely works for him. And my moves might not work for him, but it definitely works for me. So I mean, those guys, I'll say we're brothers for life. We did a special thing by winning the Super Bowl.
How difficult was it to actually leave Kansas City? I know I read some comments where you tweeted out initially and thanked everybody in Kansas City. Emotionally, that had to be a tough leave, wasn't it?
It was definitely tough because I didn't want to leave. You just won a Super Bowl with them, so you tied there forever. But it's hard decisions to make. And I'm happy to be in Miami. They love me out here. I'm thankful, and I'm tired of moving. I don't want to move no more.
Hey, if you have to settle somewhere, Miami, Florida is a pretty good place to settle in. I would think that would be a nice choice. Let's go back to when you left Oklahoma State. You were drafted by Cleveland, and you mentioned that. One thing that you never did, and you see some players, we won't mention who they are, if Cleveland drafts and all of a sudden, I don't know if I want to go, they're not good. But that never at least publicly came up with you. You were fortunate, and you appreciated the fact that you were drafted in the second round.
Oh, yeah, I was just thankful that somebody would draft me, so I was just excited off of that. And also, Cleveland they'll always have a place in my heart. They gave me my first opportunity, to go out there and showcase my talents. And now Miami is the one that got me.
You look at, and we mentioned we're not going to harp on it because we don't want to jinx anything, but you've had more than your share of injuries that have cut seasons short. You're a tough guy, though, mentally. How did you stay strong mentally when we had games taken away from you for a couple of years?
It was definitely tough, but that time away from football just helped me learn the game more, I took it all in and I kind of understood the game. And, actually I would say it's kind of a blessing in disguise. So it just makes me want to take care of my body more now and just focus on my body. Like I spend a lot of money just taking care of my body, just to make sure I'm right. So, it's a learning experience for me.
You bring up a good point. I mean, sometimes you could sit in your room and just pout, or you can actually look at the game from the sideline. Did you become smarter that way, seeing it from a different perspective because you didn't play?
Oh, yeah. I used to get mad just watching the game because I know what the DN is supposed to do from another team. So, I mean, I definitely got smart. Well, my football IQ probably went up for sure, during those times.
Well, you had a great start, no question. I think your numbers are 7 sacks and a couple of those strip sacks. You forced 3 fumbles in 8 games. I mean, you've been everywhere. What's the makeup of this defense this year with you on it? Is there enough experience on that club, or do you bring most of it in there?
I mean, I'm kind of like the oldest one in the room. But we have a lot of young guys, they kind of look up to me. So, I just got to set great examples for them, and just got to talk, communicate. That's how we get the ball rolling.
Yeah, I would imagine if you were the kind that when you weren't on the field and you were wearing that ring around, I mean, that might get some more people's attention probably. But at the same time, it's hard for me to believe. It seemed like you were just here, okay? And it shows how old I am. It seems like you were still in Stillwater. To think that you're the old man in the room, that's hard for me to believe.
Yeah. I know. It's kind of weird, but it's year 5 for me. Some of those guys just year 2, year 1 for them.
What kind of question do you get from the newcomers? I mean, is it a direct question, or is one that you can feel maybe they don't really know where I'm supposed to be, so you jump in and give them some advice, or do you wait for them to come to you?
Oh, yeah. Sometimes they ask me, like, what the play is, like, doing the play. Like, at practice sometimes or during the games, and I kind of would just tell them, like, hey, you got to do this, do this. And also, they call me and talk to me. If they don't understand why we do certain things, I kind of guide them through it, before practice, or I'll go out there and walk with them, teach them some moves and, stuff that I've learned.
You when you were here, and you had a nice career here, obviously an All-American, and you were on, I think you went to, I don't want to shortchange you, but I think you went to 3 different bowls. I want to say Cotton, Cactus, and of course the Sugar Bowl. Last year. You had some freedom to play here as well within the defensive structure. I asked you before we went on. Not too many coaches still left, though, right? Since you were here.
Oh yeah. Oh well, Coach Dunny, obviously.
Oh yeah, obviously him, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, not a lot left since I left.
You mentioned Clements. I mean, he was here, right?
Oh yeah, Coach Clements for sure is still there, and Coach Duffy's still there.
That's
for
right.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
You know, can you remember those years? I mean, again, you're in a different business now, so you're not sitting around every minute of the day saying, "Oh man, I remember this game at Oklahoma State." I'm not saying that, but it does seem relatively short period of time that you were still here wearing an Oklahoma State uniform.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't. It feels like It doesn't feel like forever ago. It feels like literally yesterday that I was just there. That's why when I watch some of the games, it just kind of gives me like tears of joy just to see those guys balling. Well, the defense really balling, but it's fun to watch.
Yeah, we were talking again. Yeah, before we went on, you would love that defense now, boy. I mean, they get after people. That was your style of play.
Oh yeah, I love to hear that.
You keep in touch with Amen, obviously. Boy, he's playing so good now, so good.
Yeah, I'm proud of him. He took a big step last year. He just balling out. He became a leader for him, and he's just doing his job and just making plays here and there.
You don't get back here often, obviously. You have this other job, right, that you have to deal with other than Oklahoma State football. They expect you to show up for work and not be coming to Stillwater every day. I understand that, but when you get a chance, do you get back here often? And homecoming's not this year because of COVID, but I guess that's a good time to get back here on an open week, probably.
Yeah, so I know last year during my bye week, I went out there during homecoming. This year, obviously, I can't go nowhere because we get tested every day because of COVID. But yeah, I try to catch games on TV, and when all this clears, then maybe I could come back soon.
Are you guys in a bubble? I mean, for lack of a better word, you say you get tested every day, so that's kind of a self-inflicted bubble. But what's it like? I mean, do you still have the freedom to get up and around as a team or an individual? Or do you have to watch yourself?
I mean, you kind of have to watch yourself because you don't want to be the guy that puts the team at risk, or the guy that that gets it from doing some dumb stuff. So I think the guys kind of like just play safe and like just keep the crowd to a minimum, or like they don't go to overly populated restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of tough, but we have to do our part.
I would think it'd be hard for you not to do that. I mean, I would think people in Miami know who you are. You probably can't go in too many places if they don't know who you are. As a team, do you talk about that though? That hey, we don't want to have. We're doing okay. We just don't want to be bringing it back in here.
Yeah, it's like nobody wants to be the guy that just said, "I caught COVID." Nah, they got to figure out where you got it from and. All the other stuff, but we're all kind of playing it safe, because we know this season means a lot to us. To a lot of guys, they want to play and also make money for their families. So
sure,
yeah, it's just been a very, very different experience for sure.
I gotta wonder as a player what it's like, certainly at home, but when you go on the road. You walk out on the field, and there might be just a few fans in the stands. Yeah. There might be some places with no fans in the stands. What's that do for you in terms of energy?
It feels like practice sometimes because it's like there's no fans in the stands. Because I feed off the crowd. That's how I get my stuff going. And but it's definitely different. It's something I have to adjust to, but it's getting better though. We're getting rehab about 15,000 fans.
I think that's about right. Yeah. And I imagine I made this comment. I think as the year goes on, you get used to 15,000 fans. But early on, I mean, to walk into a stadium like yours and look around, and there's somebody over here, there's somebody over there, and they're not making a whole lot of noise.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you could hear some voices at our stadium for sure. So.
good voices or voices on the field when there's some talking going on between the players? I guess you can.
No, like when a big play happens.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
I imagine you can hear some of the trash talking too. I guess if you really listen close enough, I guess you guys could. You might hear each other saying something one way or the other.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, if the TV didn't block it out with those big sounds, y'all probably hear a bunch of cussing.
yeah. They probably don't get too close to the sideline in this day and age. That is for sure.
Yeah.
Before we let you go, tell us again how your life is going. I mean, you told me Miami's basically your second home. You like it there. You like the city. You like living there, and you obviously like the people you have to go to work with every day in terms of the coaches and players.
Yeah, I mean, Miami is, like I said, my second home. I come here every year to train, so it was kind of an easy transition for me when I came here. I just felt like home, and also even though I'm by myself out here, but I still have family come visit. And obviously now with the COVID going on, and we got to be safe, but I kind of just FaceTime them a lot, my family in Houston, and just kind of keep up with them.
Everything there going well, I take it? Everybody is healthy and staying healthy?
Yeah, everybody's good. Thankful for that, and happy.
Well, I'm so happy you could take time. I know this is a work day for you guys. I mean, it's not like you're out there, going to the beach and laying around all day long. That's not what you're doing here. You're in a business. But I appreciate you joining us here on a Wednesday. And, you need to keep my brother in tow somehow. And don't let him get out of hand. I mean, he just...
I got you. Also, shout out to Chris and Tara.
Yeah. Go ahead and shout out because they're probably listening. I know Chris is probably listening for sure. I don't know if Tara's listening or not, but
he told me he would be. So
did he? Okay, so he'll be texting me saying, "Hey, I heard that." Anyway, I appreciate your time, buddy, and best of luck, continued luck, and we'll check in with you here later in the year, hopefully when we're talking about playoff time and all that. But keep it going. It sounds like it's going well.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
Okay, man. See ya.
Yeah. All right.
Emmanuel Ogbah, and he sounds like he's enjoying life as well. He should. He's a talented and a financially stable kind of young man.